Our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship. And no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
A little blast from the past. That's former President Obama back in 2010 on upholding the nation's immigration law. The 44th president's speech, which was broadly supported by American media at the time, went viral on X this week following a second deadly shooting in Minneapolis involving a federal law enforcement officer and a protester last weekend during the crackdown on illegal immigration. Today, with President Trump in the White House, Democrat governors and certain lawmakers, legacy media, and liberal Hollywood are telling citizens to resist ICE and Border Patrol, in some cases to get in their faces, to record their operations and stop the operations. Joining me now with more in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. Governor, great to have you this morning. Thanks for being here. And it's a real important moment to compare what has happened in the states when you actually are working with federal law enforcement. And that's what the case has been in Texas. Is that right?
Well, that's exactly right, Maria. Listen, in Texas, we're the #1 state for deportations because we're working collaboratively. We believe in the rule of law in the state of Texas. We believe and know that ICE has a duty as given to them by Congress, and that is to remove people who are here illegally. And the state of Texas will assist in that process. But kind of going back, especially with what President Obama was just saying, back when he was president, you didn't see this chaos in Minnesota when they tried to remove people from Minnesota. This is really just a pushback against President Trump, as opposed to a pushback about what the obligation is for ICE to do its job, and that is to remove people who are here illegally.
Well, as you know, I've been to the border plenty, and I went about 6 times during the Biden administration, and I witnessed up close and personal what was happening on the ground. Assess the situation for us today versus what you were facing and the citizens of Texas were facing under the Biden administration.
Maria, you would not recognize it today because, you know, we were there together, and others would come down and you would see the chaos caused by Joe Biden. Literally, in a small little town like Eagle Pass, Texas, there would be thousands of people crossing the border illegally a day, stocked up in the park just outside there of Eagle Pass. Now there's nobody who's come across the border illegally in that park anymore. And under President Trump, for about 8 or 9 months in a row, there's been exactly 0 people allowed to cross the border illegally and to stay in the United States. Remember, President Trump won one of the largest victories ever for elections because he made the commitment to stop illegal immigration, to secure the border, and to remove illegal immigrants. He's succeeding at all those 3 things that he was expected to achieve when people elected him. And because of what he's done, we're seeing record lows about people coming across the border illegally.
Well, who is funding this? I mean, Border Czar Tom Homan warned that left-wing groups are funding the attacks on ICE. Do you believe that this is domestic, or are these also tied to foreign adversaries like Communist China?
So I got to tell you, this may be the issue that I applaud the president on more than anything else. It's something that we have been dealing with this in Texas, where we see funding come from outside groups, including George Soros. And I think one of the most important things the Trump administration can achieve is to get to the bottom of who's funding all this. It could be the protest groups, it could be the NGOs, things like that. But listen, I think if the Trump administration can find out who is funding all this illegal activity, interfering with the ability of ICE to do its job, that would be the biggest game changer that could be achieved by the president.
Governor, let me move on to the economy. I know Texas is leading the nation for 2025 job gains. You continue to see people moving to Texas. You've got a billionaire's tax in California. You've got a socialist mayor in New York, and citizens are fed up. They are finding homes and time in Texas. What can you tell us? Assess the backdrop for us today versus the last couple of years in terms of population and growth, economic growth in Texas.
Well, economically, we almost have two systems in the United States. Texas is the bastion of capitalism, and that's why businesses continue to move here at record pace, more so than any other state, whereas California and New York are bastions of communism. Communism does not work. It's been capitalism that's lifted more people out of poverty than any other economic system in the history of the world, and Texas is the epitome of that. While California is trying to tax billionaires more, Texas has codified. We made unconstitutional an income tax. We made unconstitutional a capital gains tax. We made unconstitutional a transactions tax that would be imposed on these stock exchanges. And all of these prohibitions on taxes, all the pro-business regulations and laws that we have passed are magnets that are attracting more businesses to come to the state of Texas and prosper in our state more than they can in places like New York and California.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I mean, J.P. Morgan, the largest bank, has more employees in Texas than it does in New York. You've got the Texas Stock Exchange. I mean, it's a complete change from what New York was the hub, the financial hub of the world for so long.
And listen, that's going to change because you cannot be the home of stock exchanges in New York and have a communist leader and a communist regime. And that's exactly why you're seeing all these finance businesses, whether they be companies like Charles Schwab or Goldman Sachs, whatever the case may be. There's massive growth among the largest players in the financial sector, and they're all growing in Dallas, Texas, and across our state. And Texas is the home of capital. Now we're becoming the home of capital markets like the Texas Stock Exchange.
That's incredible. Governor, it's good to catch up. Thanks so much, sir. We appreciate your time. Texas Governor.
Thank you, Maria.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.